narrative therapy has always set about itself, its purpose, when I, reminisce with myself, because Michael's not here to reminisce with, how to come to know another in the situation that we call therapy. I think this is what made us such congenial friends when we first met one another, was that we wanted to know people differently than we both had witnessed, him working in adult psychiatry and me working in child psychiatry, how the psychiatries and psychologies came to know people. And we called it in those days pathologizing. And we found this horrifying, because it was in no way did this have us meet people in the way that we wish to meet people. In many ways, we could see the deleterious effects of that, especially as to some extent people started making themselves over to fit the diagnosis. And that shaped their identity as much as anything else. And I think Michael called that a totalizing identity. So I'm asking myself, to what extent have I never met a person like this before? Rather than, to what extent is this like a person I've met before with the diagnosis of X? We also both saw and were concerned by the fact that many of these descriptions were like a fate or a destiny. When I first used to work with Michael, we would say something like, gee, I wish I could be like them. Or, gee, that person, what character they have. After one of these visits, he said to me, what do you think I'm doing differently? And I go, oh, you're doing something very differently. He goes, what's that? I go, well, you don't make any statements. You just ask questions. And I go, is it hard? He goes, no, it's not hard. I go, well, how do you do it? Whenever you're going to make a statement, turn it into a question. And but what that does, it mitigates the asymmetry of the relationship, doesn't it? Instead of I know this, am I right in thinking this?
Yes.
Are you doing this? Is this what you have in mind? If you look at narrative therapy questions are relatively unique. The idea of a question in the psychotherapies has been a travesty. It's the most understudied aspect of practice, given it's the main instrument of practice. I think we show ourselves to the people we're meeting as much as anything else by the questions we ask them. And they show us who they are by their answers to the questions we ask them. Michael, over the years talked about stories, but two words that he regularly used was suspense. A story has a suspense, and it's often told in the subjunctive, what might be rather than what has been.